man. Not gonna lie.
Happy Halloween, everyone. It's spooky season again. And what better topic to talk about than the villain Kamen Riders on this special day, right? To celebrate Halloween, we are going to take a look at all the villain riders from the Heisei era and see what happened to them by the end of their series or movie or TV specials. Let's see how many of them are dead or alive or even converted to a hero. It is honestly pretty hard to define what is a villain Kamen Rider in a Kamen Rider series. Here are a few rules that, let's be honest, I will probably not follow. Please understand that it is difficult for me to actually pick the right riders for this video. See this video more as a invitation or an open to a discussion on this topic more than the definite answer. With that being said, let's begin with
Agito.
the first villain rider that we are going to take a look. It's G4 from Agito. He is dead at the end of the movie by the strain of the G4 system. So we got our first death.
Ryuki.
Now, for Ryuki, you already know there's a lot of gray areas. There are a lot of riders who were actually enemies to our main cast. For simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna pick two of the main, evil riders from the series. Ryuga, the dark version of Ryuki, was assumed dead from the Ryuki movie. Oja, another fan favorite, was gunned down by the end of the series.
5.
Kaisa, who has an on and off relationship with the hero cast, died fighting. Kamen Rider Saga was defeated by Faiz at the stadium, and Olga was also defeated by Faiz in the same stadium.
Blade.
Gokiryu as Kamen Rider Lengire was fatally wounded by the undead and eventually died. Muzuki Kamijo as once again Kamen Rider Lengire was mind-controlled by the spider undead and was a villain during a portion of the show. He eventually turned good but was defeated by Joker, but yet still alive. Now as for the Blade movie, we have Kamen Rider Glaive. He was defeated by Blade King form and died at the end.
Hibiki.
Kamen Rider Kabuki, the villain of the Hibiki movie, was devoured at the end.
Kabuto.
Dark Kabuto was formerly a villain but then turned into a hero. He then sacrificed himself at the end of the Kabuto series. Kageyama as the Bee and Punch Hopper betrayed Zact and was turned into a villain rider for a while, but eventually was dead by the hand of Kick Hopper. Kamen Rider Kataros is killed by Kabuto in the movie. Caucasus was also killed by Kabuto in the movie too.
Den-O.
We have Gao, the villain of the Deno movie. He died at the end. Nega Deno was killed by Kiva and Deno. Kamen Rider Yuki and the Skull form variation was eventually killed also by Deno. G Deno is destroyed by the end complete form.
Kiba.
King who transformed into Dark Kiva was killed 2 times. Ray and Ark, 2 villain riders from the Kiva movie, was killed by Ixa and Kiva.
Decay.
Kamen Rider Abyss, the original Dark Rider from the Decay series, was defeated and lived. However, it turns out to be an undead and eventually was killed by Decay with Blade. I'm counting Kuga Ultimate Form Black Eye version as a villain here. I think he was defeated by Decay, but anyway he lived. Decay Emotion Form is dead by the end of its movie but was resurrected as a hero. So that's all for Heisei Phase 1's villain rider. As you guys can see, a lot or maybe most of them are dead by the end of the series. So let's see if the trends of villain rider dying changes at the second half of Eternal, an amazing villain by the way, was defeated and killed by Double Gold Extreme. I know he came back in CO, but he is counted as dead.
Uzi.
Poseidon was a villain and was defeated by Aqua. The Oz King transformed into the ancient Oz in the 10-year anniversary movie, but was dead at the end by Golda Eiji. And speaking of Golda, he was also defeated and died.
Pose.
Meteor, who was actually a villain rider at some point of the story, was converted as a hero eventually.
Wizardo.
Wiseman, the final big bad of the series, died at the hand of Wizard Infinity. Kamen Rider Sorcerer, who was transformed by Drake Phantom, is defeated and killed by once again Wizard Infinity.
Game.
There is a lot of debatable villain riders from the Gaim series, so not quite sure if I should count a lot of them as enemies or not. Just bear with me on the Gaim section. Ryugen is converted back to a hero at the end of the TV series. Kamen Rider Duke was a villain who died in the series. Kamen Rider Cigar was also dead in the series also. Sangetsu was an enemy rider at the start but was converted to work alongside our hero. I know it's a little bit controversial, but still, I don't know. Kaito, Kamen Rider Baron, who I'm counting as a villain here, died at the end of the series. Marika, who sided with Baron, is also dead at the end. Kamen Rider Gem and Kamen Rider Mars is also dead. 15 was defeated but was alive. Idun? Is that the name? Idon? Is dead by the end of the movie. Kamen Rider Tyrant and Kamen Rider Saver, is that the name? Were the main villain of their V Cinema, and they both died. Black Baron is also dead. Sylvie is also dead.
Denied!
Machine Chaser, which is not a Kamen Rider, but I'm counting it, was one of the main villain in the beginning, but was reformed to a hero at the end, but died. Gold Drive is dead at the end of the series. Kamen Rider Lupin was a villain who converted to a hero. Kamen Rider 4 is a villain who died at the end of the movie. And Dark Drive is dead at the end of his movie. There is a lot of death. And speaking of dying,
Ghost!
Necron was a villain in the beginning but was reformed. I know he technically is dead, but you know what I mean, I'm counting him as alive. Spectre, who fight again Ghost at the start, sided with Ghost. And then we have Argos as Dark Ghost. He died at the end of the movie alongside with Extremer. And then the 3 Necron were also killed in the movie.
Heisei!
Kamen Rider Gamu, Kamen Rider Paradox, and Red Eyes Poppy were reformed to be heroes at the end of the TV series. Kronos and Gemadu's Kronos were defeated and killed in the series. And since they are the same person, I'm counting them as one entry. Also, I'm not counting the extended story. Kamen Rider Fuma is a villain from the Heisei movie, and by the end, he reformed. Another Paradox was defeated and absorbed back to the Bug Visor at the end of his special. I'm counting him as alive here since we are just going to talk about the series that the rider appeared at.
Build!
Night Road, who turned into Kamen Rider Road, become an ally to Build, but is dead at the end. Kamen Rider Grease was also opposing to our main team at the beginning, but he joined the hero side later. But at the end, he was also dead. Bloodstock, who transformed into Evolved, was eventually defeated and died in the New World. Utsumi as Mad Road, who sided with Evolved at some point, turned against Evolved, but was killed at the end. Washio as Hell Brothers was turned to a hero before he died. By Kaiser, another movie exclusive rider, is dead by the rider kicks of Bill and Heisei. Kamen Rider Blood, Kill Beast, and Metal Bill were all died at the end of their movie special.
G.O.
White Watts, who transformed into Kamen Rider Watts as a villain, is dead but was resurrected and then turned to the good side and died again within the same TV series. Kamen Rider Ginga was killed in the series. Kamen Rider Zonigis, is that the name? Kamen Rider Zonjis, Zamonas, and Bralix. Is that how you pronounce the names of this Kamen Rider? It's so weird. Anyway, they were all killed in the Overquarter movie. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the list. Once again, I'm only counting the main series, so there's no Amazon here. As you guys can see, there's a lot of Kamen Riders which falls in the category of, you know, anti-villain or anti-hero. So some of the selection are very debatable, but please let me know if you guys agree with my list or not. So there are a total of 62 villain riders who died at the end of their series. Not to the surprise of anyone that most of the villain riders were killed off at the end. And here is the list of the villain rider who lived. All of them are either converted to a hero at the end or have lost their will to fight. These are the riders who eventually died as a hero. And as a bonus, here are some fun facts. G4 is both the first villain rider and the first villain rider to die on the list. Dark Kabuto is the first villain rider who turns to a hero, only to die at the end of the series. Kamen Rider 15 and Kamen Rider Fuma are the only villain riders from a movie who didn't die at the end. The other movie exclusive rider were all dead. Gaim got the most villain rider on the list with 14 entries. Decay with its violent emotion form was the only main rider who turns into a villain. Heisei got the most villain rider conversion and survived, while Bill got the most rider converted but died. So, what did we learn? Well, don't be a villain rider, because you'll probably die. Especially don't be any villain riders in the movies or any spin-off series. We are actually seeing a trend of a lot of a villain rider who started as a villain in the beginning, converting to the hero side by the middle or at the end of the series. There's a lot of these examples. And I'm actually a fan of these kind of stories, because I'm always, you know, a big fan of redemption arcs. But what do you guys think? Do you like when villains turns to hero or hero turns into a villain? Or would you like a more basic story with the villain being just pure evil and, you know, from the beginning to the end, it's a bad guy? Let's have a discussion in the comment section below. And also, please let me know which Kamen Rider would you like to add or would you like to take away from the list. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and maybe share with your other friends. I don't know, do whatever you want. Alright, so take care, guys. I am going to go now and see you guys soon. Bye.